오빠.
응?
얼마 났어?
2칸?
Just when the girl was about to start, she suddenly noticed something off the man's arm looked nothing like the one who placed the order. A chill ran down her spine. She knew something wasn't right. And then, as she panicked and tried to grab her things to flee, it was already too late. This is hands down the best Korean thriller I've seen lately. A superstar, completely under the thumb of a powerful family, sinks deeper in her quest for revenge. A cop, falsely imprisoned for crossing the wrong people, launches a desperate fight back, and in the middle of it all, a shadowy figure navigating both sides of the law, an undercover operative playing a deadly game. Just looking at these characters, you know this one's going to be a ride. The story kicks off with a bang. Our protagonist is named Kang-soo. One day, he picks up a strange passenger who tips him more than half a month's salary up front. The guy even hands him 2 bottles of soda, asking Kang-soo to wait nearby. Seemed harmless, so Kang-soo drinks one. Within minutes, he starts feeling dizzy, disoriented. Before he can figure out what's happening, he's tackled to the ground by a group of men. The next thing he knows, he's behind bars charged with possession of illegal substances. Kang-soo, at this point, is just a clueless rookie. Of course, he gets the rough end of the stick.
감사합니다.
Until a local prosecutor named Koo Kwon-hee enters the picture. Koo may be low-ranking now, but he's got ambition and a sharp eye for talent. He sees something in Kang-soo, a brain that's borderline genius.
너 외우는 거 잘하니? 외워봐.
이두용 910304 1687-954 신지엽 870507-1498-752 김성림 790912-1487-416.
So he makes him a deal, help catch the real criminals inside the prison, and he'll work to cut Kang-soo's sentence in half. The mission? Infiltrate the inner circle, earn their trust, and gather solid evidence. It's risky, but Kang-soo pulls it off. He collects everything they need, and just like that, the kingpin inside gets taken down. Koo gets promoted to senior prosecutor, but that was just the beginning. Koo wasn't satisfied. He wanted more, so he turns Kang-soo into his secret weapon, a covert fixer operating between the prosecutors and the criminal underworld.
너 야당 한번 해봐라, 전문적으로다가. 그럼 너 평생 먹고 살 걱정 안 해도 된다. 그러면서 형도 좀 도와주고. 새끼 웃네.
아이.
야, 이제부터 편하게 형이라고 불러. 응?
예. 형님 도울 수 있으면 하겠습니다.
And just like that, Kang-soo became his undercover operative, or better yet, his informant. His job? Track down high-profile narcotics cases, help the authorities catch the suspects, and then, here's the twist, negotiate reduced sentences for those same suspects, under the guise of cooperating with investigations. Behind the scenes, it's all pre-arranged. The suspect paid a fortune. The prosecutor rose through the ranks thanks to the high-profile bust, and as for him, he cashes in big time. And so, Kang-soo and Koo Kwon-hee kept their mutually beneficial partnership going for 3 whole years. Until one day, a girl changed everything. The man in front of us is Oh Sang-jae, an officer with the narcotics division. That day, he intercepted a tip-off and cornered a young woman in a car. She wasn't just anyone. Her name was Soo-jin, famous, gorgeous, and one of Korea's biggest stars. But Sang-jae didn't care about celebrities. His real targets were the ones supplying her. Of course, anyone connected to a star of her caliber had powerful backing. Soo-jin knew she couldn't afford to talk.
어? 통화 누를까? 지금 전화 한 통이면 기자들 눈 시뻘개져서 몰려와. 나랑 발작 끼고 포토라인 한번 걸어볼까?
But under pressure, Sang-jae's threats and promises, she broke. She agreed to become his informant. That one decision destroyed her. Behind these drugs lies a network fueled by power, money, and pure madness. Meanwhile, Kang-soo uncovered what looked like the biggest case of his life. If this one went down clean, Koo Kwon-hee would have the entire drug network of Seoul in the palm of his hand. Cut to 2 gangs making a deal. The man at the center? Young Tae-soo, Kang-soo's newest target. Word on the street was, every illegal shipment in Seoul passed through his hands. Young Tae-soo had serious backing. He didn't take the other gangs seriously at all.
못 받은 500g은 일마 치료비로 퉁칩시다.
Soon enough, Oh Sang-jae also picked up the trail leading to Yeom Tae-soo, but just as Oh Sang-jae was about to move in for the bust, Kang-soo appeared out of nowhere.
염태수 사장님! 감 많이 떨어지셨네. 뒤에 곰새끼들 줄줄이 달고 다니고.
옥광상자이가
빨리 빠져나가. 내가 책임질 테니까. 차 돌리라.
Yeom didn't know who Kang-soo was, but clearly, this guy was trying to help him escape. With no time to think, he had no choice but to follow the orders. The prosecutor's team swooped in and took Yeom down.
염태수 씨.
And Sang-jae, furious, just like that, the credit was taken from him.
자, 여기 영장 있어요. 네?
갑시다. 이것들이 아주 사건을 날로 따먹으려고 씨.
As usual, Yeom Tae-soo had no choice but to sign the cooperation agreement. But this time, Koo Kwon-hee got more than just another case, he got leverage. Because Yeom revealed something explosive. His biggest client was the son of a presidential candidate. Koo wasn't letting that go. That night, Soo-jin called Sang-jae in a panic, said a group of users had gathered outside a hotel. Sang-jae rushed to respond, but as Soo-jin tried to slip away, a man stepped in her path, Cho-hoon, the very same man Yeom had named the candidate's son.
오빠 나 오늘 갑자기 몸이 안 좋아서 집 가서 좀 쉬려고. 다음에 내가
야, 수진아, 엄수진아, 넌 네 맘대로 아프면 안 돼.
Soo-jin was trapped. Before Sang-jae could reach her, Koo Kwon-hee and Kang-soo had already stormed the hotel with their team. Cho-hoon and his crew were caught red-handed. Soo-jin was found collapsed on the bathroom floor, barely conscious. Koo saw Cho-hoon calling his father and led him, because he wanted the news to reach the top.
걔네 뭐냐?
네가 여기 대가리구나. 어이 잘생겼네 아주. TV 출연 한번 해야지, 그지?
And just like that, Oh Sang-jae got outplayed by Koo Kwon-hee again. He was furious, but there was nothing he could do. All he could do was watch as Soo-jin, once the nation's sweetheart, was taken away by the police. So not only was this top star used and manipulated because of Oh Sang-jae, she also ended up facing charges from the prosecutor for possession and use of controlled substances. At this point, from Oh Sang-jae's perspective, it wasn't Koo Kwon-hee who made his blood boil, it was Kang-soo.
아, 그렇다고 너무 열심히들 살지 마세요. 뭣도 아니고.
And now, things kick into high gear. It turns out Koo Kwon-hee never intended to press charges against Cho-hoon in the first place. What he really wanted was to win favor with Cho-hoon's powerful father. To do that, he had to clean up Cho-hoon's mess, starting with making sure no one else knew what really happened. That included silencing Kang-soo. So Koo called in Yeom Tae-soo, and things quickly escalated. Meanwhile, prosecutors showed up at Oh Sang-jae's doorstep, arresting him on bogus bribery charges tied to Yeom Tae-soo. It was clearly a setup, but it was enough to temporarily pull him off the Cho-hoon investigation. As for Kang-soo, Yeom Tae-soo used a much darker tactic to keep him in check. He had Kang-soo forcibly drugged and badly injured, rendering him helpless. It was clear Koo never saw Kang-soo as a partner, not even for a second.
한 달간 밥 먹이지 말고 약만 먹이가 내다 버리라.
The last loose end? Yeom Soo-jin. She was detained for involvement in illegal gatherings, effectively ending her entertainment career. Fast forward 3 months, Kang-soo hasn't given in. He's been fighting hard to break free from his past, though every step has been painful beyond words. The only one standing by him now is Chonrak, a guy he met during a past case and the one person willing to help him get back on his feet. Thanks to his own determination and Chonrak's support, Kang-soo slowly starts reclaiming control over his life.
술 한잔해.
Now, it's payback time. At the same time, Oh Sang-jae finally clears his name and is reinstated as a detective. The one who ended up worst off was Soo-jin, once a glittering star. Now she's living in the shadows. One day, she receives a mysterious request for a private visit. Suspicious at first, she drops her guard when the sender shares a photo of someone she recognizes. She takes the job and shows up at the location, and that's when the opening scene of the story kicks in. Turns out, it was all a trap laid by Kang-soo. Everyone still thinks he's Koo Kwon-hee's man, so he had no choice but to play dirty. But he can't do it alone, he needs Oh Sang-jae on his side. And with someone like Oh, it's fists first, questions later.
나 약을 팔아! 옆에서 시켜서! 좀 들어보라고! 너랑 나, 우리 둘 다 같이 나간 거라고!
Despite the rough reunion, Kang-soo finally brings the crew back together. When Oh sees Soo-jin again, guilt floods his face. That's when Kang-soo and Soo-jin lay out the full truth.
그 새끼가 너무 보고 싶어요.
나한테 누구냐고 물어봤었죠. 조훈. 핸드폰 보고 있는 남자가 조훈이에요. 조상택 대선 후보 아들. 나 약쟁이 만든 새끼.
엄한 사건 물어다 바친 야당, 현장에 있던 여배우, 사건 수사하던 마스의 경찰. 이렇게 문제될 놈들 정리한 거지.
But how can they take down such powerful enemies? Well, Kang-soo's been holding onto a secret weapon. Back when Koo Kwon-hee was arresting Cho-hoon, Kang-soo used a hidden camera disguised as part of his glasses to record everything. That footage proves collusion between Koo and Cho-hoon. The problem? Those glasses were taken by Yeom Tae-soo the night Kang-soo was attacked. Soo-jin then reveals that Cho-hoon is throwing another private party soon, just like the one from a year ago. She plans to capture footage of what really goes down there, so if they can recover Kang-soo's glasses and combine that with Soo-jin's evidence, they just might bring down both Cho-hoon and Koo Kwon-hee once and for all. The very next day, Oh Sang-jae and Kang-soo head straight to Yeom Tae-soo's turf. Kang-soo's original plan? Slip in, swipe the stash, and force Yeom to come out of hiding, but to his surprise, Oh Sang-jae just walked right through the front door like he owned the place. Right then, Yeom Tae-soo, trying to sneak out in the chaos, spots someone tampering with one of his trucks. That's when things kick off.
개새끼야! 누가
Under pressure from both of them, Yeom Tae-soo gives in and hands over the video. With that secured, all they need now is Soo-jin's footage. Luckily, Soo-jin's already a familiar face in that world, so Cho-hoon doesn't suspect a thing. She easily gets damning footage of him, but just when things are going smoothly, Oh Sang-jae makes a critical mistake. He brings Yeom Tae-soo back to the precinct. Problem is, Koo Kwon-hee has eyes and ears everywhere. He quickly finds out Oh Sang-jae, Kang-soo, and Soo-jin are working together. Without hesitation, he calls Cho-hoon. At that very moment, Soo-jin is standing right in front of Cho-hoon. Fortunately, Cho-hoon doesn't answer the call, not until Soo-jin has already driven off. That's when Cho-hoon finally realized something was wrong. Everything seems to be going according to plan, but that's exactly when things usually fall apart.
나도.
Soo-jin couldn't escape Cho-hoon's clutches. By the time Kang-soo and Oh Sang-jae arrive, the place is in flames. Chang-rak also died in the fire. That pushed Kang-soo to the brink. He was ready to go down together with them. The scene shifts. Kang-soo pays a visit to a woman who has a long-standing grudge against Yeom Tae-soo. She's been eyeing his territory for years, but Yeom has always been protected by powerful allies in the prosecutor's office. He asked her for a favor to arrange a boat for an illegal escape, but no sooner does he step out of the car than the woman picks up the phone and dials. Koo Kwon-hee.
이강수 위치 얘기해봐.
박현숙 의원한테 영상하고 검사님 목소리 녹음한 거 넘기러 간다 하던데 얘.
That's how Koo learns the truth. Kang-soo holds video evidence of his secret dealings with Cho-hoon. At the same time, Oh Sang-jae prepares to file an official report, but Koo intercepts him just in time. Though Oh is now under tight control, Koo realizes the footage might still exist elsewhere. Cornered, he pulls a classic survival move, sacrifice the pawn to save the king. He initiates a public investigation into Cho Hoon and his father, trying to wash his hands clean. Gotta say, Koo Kwon-hee really knows how to play the game. Soon after, Cho Hoon is summoned to the prosecutor's office. Meanwhile, Koo pressures Oh Sang-jae to give up Kang-soo's location by threatening his family. Oh has no choice but to play along, but before talking, he calmly asks for a cigarette. That cigarette would be Koo Kwon-hee's undoing. Back at the investigation, just as Cho Hoon is about to undergo a test, yet another twist flips the script. Turns out, Koo Kwon-hee never actually intended to betray the Cho family. His real goal was to help them fake their downfall so they could rise again. Meanwhile, Young Tae-soo tracks down Kang-soo's vehicle, but when he opens the door, he's hit with a brutal surprise. It's not Kang-soo inside. Just like that, the man who once thought he was untouchable is taken out of the game. As for the real Kang-soo, he's already 2 moves ahead. At that very moment, as Koo Kwon-hee and the Cho family are celebrating their so-called victory, a breaking news report suddenly interrupts the broadcast. And on live TV, a crystal clear feed of Koo and Cho Hoon caught red-handed, with audio to match. In an instant, the father's campaign is ruined, and Koo Kwon-hee's reputation collapses like a house of cards. And the mastermind behind it all? Kang-soo watching from a rooftop nearby. The device used to capture their voices? A lighter, the same lighter Oh Sang-jae swapped during that smoke break, and the same lighter that Kang-soo had once gifted Koo Kwon-hee years ago. From the moment Kang-soo met with that woman, the entire plan was already in motion. Furious, Koo Kwon-hee charges across to the rooftop to confront him, but when it comes to a fight, he's not even close to Kang-soo's level.
잡았어. 내가 말했지. 거기서 떨어지면 된다고. 병치 뒤진다.
The next day, Cho Hoon's father becomes a national laughingstock. Cho Hoon himself is finally cornered by the law, but he never gives Oh Sang-jae the satisfaction of arresting him. As for Koo Kwon-hee, there's no escaping justice now. And with that, we'll see you in the next film.